It is not your imagination. You haven't changed your diet or exercise habits yet. Something has definitely changed, and that would be this, your belly. The fact is, starting with perimenopause and continuing through menopause, many women can gain weight more easily. In fact, 65% of women 40 to 59 are classified as obese, and that number jumps to 73.8% in women over 60. Finally, it is much more easy to gain weight in the abdomen, which is more of a concern than just aesthetics, as this particular kind of fat, visceral fat, can increase your risk for all chronic diseases such as heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. What is going on and what can you do? Hi, my name is Bonni London, and in today's video, I am going to share with you why you might be experiencing some unwanted weight gain, especially around the middle, but more importantly, what measures you can take today to fight back. Lower levels of estrogen that typically begin during perimenopause seem to be the top of the list that leads to the change in our body shape. In addition, women who are experiencing hot flashes, possible mood swings, can also have sleep disturbances. Now, this sleep deprivation alone can cause a rise in additional belly fat as a result of changes or increases in cortisol, the stress hormone that definitely changes in response to disruption in sleep. And of course, it does make your appetite bigger as well, particularly for high glycemic foods needed for a quick energy boost. So these hormone and possible sleep disturbances can make the motivation also to exercise even more difficult. The bottom line is that the diet and lifestyle that you have always worked for you, that maybe you have successfully been able to maintain your weight or even lose weight, might not be the same diet and lifestyle that you might now need to look at, not just to achieve your goal weight, but also to maintain your health and just overall well-being. So here are my top suggestions to help you take back control. Now, okay, number one, definitely I would consider talking to someone well-versed in hormones and look at hormone replacement. It is not for everyone, for sure, but certainly the sooner you get on it, it can help with prevention. It is something I do, but again, I do say it's not for everyone. Your genetics, your medical history, and your age all play a role in making decision what is right for you. But certainly we do need to look at hormones. Okay, number two, absolutely diet. As we age, you just can't get away with eating the same foods that you did maybe when you were in high school. So it's even more important to consume a diet that helps keep insulin, the fat storage hormone, down, because your body is not going to release any of those fat stores unless insulin is low. Number one on this list is to focus on high quality protein at every meal, as protein is the number one macronutrient to help keep your sugar stable more than any other macronutrient, and it also helps keep your appetite in check as well because it does not trigger those high levels of insulin. So some examples would be certainly wild fish, grass-fed meat, eggs, or some fermented tofu. Next, be sure to include plenty of low glycemic carbohydrates. such as dark leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, berries. Depending on your level of activity, you can certainly enjoy some moderate amounts of more starchy vegetables such as sweet potato, butternut squash, rice, quinoa, or beans. Finally, do not fear fat. Fat has the least impact of triggering insulin, and this is really important also for mediating inflammation, and it is also really critical for healthy hormones, as fats could be precursors for the hormones. But not all fat is created equal. So some healthy sources of fat that I often recommend, certainly always from whole foods as much as you can, would be olives, avocados, nuts, seeds, coconut oil, and also butter. Just some ideas. Number 3, exercise is not optional if you are interested not just in the weight, but where that weight is stored. Because muscle, as it turns out, is really your number one weapon here. Because the more muscle you have, the more places you have for glucose to go when you do consume it. So, because it kind of works like a sponge, and we have these glycogen stores in all of our muscles. And listen, even if you have not worked out previously, it is never too late to make significant changes in your body composition. And furthermore, you don't have to spend hours in the gym. The most important word I'm going to share with you relative to exercise is this one word: consistency. I much rather have people work out, 10 minutes a day than run a marathon and then not work out again. So what I frequently recommend is maybe starting out with a 5-minute, weight resistance workout, rotating body parts like upper, middle, core rather, and then lower. And of course, engaging in cardiovascular activity. But you don't have to spend hours. You could start out with 15 minutes of interval training. But the most important thing I'm going to tell you, once again, not just consistency, but every day. Okay, so the more days that you get your heart rate up, going to be fantastic. Okay, number 4 on the list, I talk about this all the time: sleep, sleep, sleep. And as I mentioned, this can be more difficult as you go into menopause, depending if you're having those hot flashes. But I do have some basic ideas of how to set up your sleep environment, or I would also call it your sleep hygiene. So very basic. Number 1, sun exposure in the morning. As soon as you in the morning when you go out without sunglasses, because this can really help get your circadian rhythm in check. And also there's some good research that not just exercise, but moving in the morning for as little as 5 minutes can significantly impact that quality of sleep that you get later in the evening. And then on the other side, you want to think about turning those lights down in the after the sun goes down. I always say try to think about candlelight, and dimming the lights would be another strategy. And when you eat your food is also huge. So the suggestion is to not eat a huge protein dinner, and allow at least 3 hours after dinner before you go to bed. And of course, keeping your room cool and dark and free of stress. Finally, number 5, trying to find a way to manage stress. Of course, most people recognize that stress impacts your appetite, but it can also affect the bacteria in your gut, hormones, and interrupt your sleep. And all of these independently can affect your weight. So my suggestion is, the next time you go into the kitchen and you find yourself at the pantry or the refrigerator and think, what am I looking for? I want you to see if you're really hungry. Am I hungry? Because if you're not hungry, then food isn't going to solve that. And perhaps you could take a pause and distract yourself for a minute. Maybe take a walk outside or just be in nature or call someone. Do anything they say for about 10 minutes and see if that might bring down those cravings. Now, finally, listen, although unfortunately there are some things we just can't control as we get older, my suggestion is to please focus on what you can control, because in the end, you're going to feel so much better, not just physically, but mentally. Well, if you have found this video helpful, would you please like, subscribe, share, comment below? I would love to hear how you might use some of my suggestions. That would be great. And if you're interested in what a personal plan might look like for you, I would love to chat with you. And there is a link in the description below to book a no-cost call. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.